For the longest time, if you said PC gaming, you basically just meant Windows. But that's not true anymore. Thanks to Valve and their absolute game changer, Proton, the whole world of Linux gaming has exploded. It's not just some niche thing for hobbyists anymore. It's a real, thriving ecosystem. The only problem, there are so many choices now. It can feel a little overwhelming. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to dive in and sort through this new frontier to help you figure out what's the right fit for you. So two gaming operating systems walk into a bar. One's a Swiss Army knife, the other has pure console DNA. I love this line because it's not just a joke, right? It's the perfect setup for the huge question we're diving into. It really gets to the heart of the two big competing ideas in Linux gaming today. And this visual, it just perfectly captures those two different worlds, doesn't it? On one side, you've got that super focused console-style experience. Think of a handheld. You pick it up, you play your game, you put it down. Simple. And on the other side, you've got the beast, the all-powerful, do-everything desktop PC that also happens to be amazing for gaming. Okay, and this is a really, really important point to get. The conversation has completely changed. We're not having those old arguments about which OS gets 20% more performance. Honestly, on the same hardware, we're talking about a difference of just a few frames per second. It's tiny. So the choice you have to make isn't about chasing benchmarks anymore. It's about philosophy. It's about deciding what you actually want your gaming machine to be. And that brings us to the big idea for this whole breakdown, the Great Divide. Every single gaming OS we're going to look at today falls on one side of this line. Is it a dedicated appliance, or is it a full-on, versatile PC? So let's lay it out side by side. The appliance idea is all about being simple, reliable, and focused. It's a dedicated box that just plays games. That's it. The PC idea, on the other hand, is about being flexible, powerful, and, yeah, a little more complex. It's a full computer that also plays games. Keep this distinction in your head because everything else we talk about is going to build on this. All right, let's jump into that first philosophy, the appliance. The core promise here, the big selling point, is an unbreakable gaming experience. The whole goal is to build something so rock solid that a bad update or an accidental click can't just, ruin your night. So how on earth do they pull that off? Well, the secret sauce is this really clever idea called an immutable OS. It's actually a concept they borrowed from big, heavy-duty servers. Basically, think of it like this. The core files of your operating system are locked down. They're read-only. You can't mess with them by accident, and a buggy program can't mess with them either. This is the bedrock of that whole unbreakable idea. And because of that immutability, you get something amazing called atomic updates. Here's how it works. When there's a new update, it doesn't try to patch your live system. No. It downloads a whole new fresh copy of the OS in the background. Then, when you reboot, you just switch over to the new one. And here's the magic part. If anything goes wrong, anything, a black screen, some weird bug, you just reboot again and bam, you're instantly back on the previous version that was working perfectly. Your system is never, ever left in a broken state. It's genius. Now, if you want to see this idea in its absolute purest form, you have to look at ChimeraOS. This thing boots straight into a game library, kind of like Steam's Big Picture mode. It doesn't even want to show you a desktop. The whole system is designed around one idea, that a game controller is the only thing you should ever have to touch. And man, this quote just nails the trade-off, doesn't it? ChimeraOS is about as flexible as a concrete statue. It's gaming or nothing. What you get is that absolute console-level reliability. But the price you pay is, well, it's not a computer anymore, not in the traditional sense. It's a machine built for one job and one job only. Then you have something like Bazzite, which tries to split the difference a little. It's built on that exact same unbreakable, immutable core, but it also tries to give you a functional desktop. People call it the Swiss Army knife of the appliance world. It's a gaming appliance first, but yeah, it can open a spreadsheet if you really have to. And of course, we can't talk about this without tipping our hats to the OG, the one that started it all, Valve's SteamOS. From those early Steam machines all the way to the ridiculously popular Steam Deck, Valve's vision has always been crystal clear. Bring that simple, reliable, console-like appliance experience to the world of PC gaming. Okay, so that's the appliance world, right? Built for that unbreakable, simple life. Now, let's walk across that great divide to the other side and check out the total opposite, the PC philosophy. This is for everyone who thinks a gaming machine should be a powerful, customizable, full-fat desktop computer first, and a gaming machine second. First up on this side is Nobara. I love the description for this one. It's Fedora that hit the gym. It takes a really solid operating system as a base and then just bulks it up. It's packed with all these custom patches, special kernels, and a ton of optimizations that are all there for one reason: to make your games run better right out of the box. No tinkering needed. But here's what's really unique about Nobara. It's basically the passion project of one guy, a legendary developer named Thomas Kreider, who you probably know as Glorious Egg Roll. This is the guy behind the custom Proton versions millions of us already use. So his quote, "The project continues as long as he is alive and using the platform," well, that's both its greatest strength and its biggest risk, right? You get this singular expert vision, but the whole thing hinges on just one person. And then you have Garuda. Look, if Nobara is a pre-tuned race car ready to go, then Garuda is like a box of top-of-the-line, high-performance parts and a manual. It's a rolling release, which means you get software updates literally the second they come out. And that wild neon cyberpunk look? Yeah, that's its signature. This is built from the ground up for people who love to tinker, who want to customize every single little thing. The power you get with Garuda is just immense. We're talking instant updates for everything, a user software library with over 80,000 packages. It's huge. And it has a really nice snapshot system that can save you if an update goes wrong. But, and this is a big but, all that power comes with a price. Living on the bleeding edge means, well, sometimes you get cut. Things can and do break, and the trade-off is you have to be ready to pay attention and do some regular maintenance. This little table does a great job of laying out these PC-style options. You've got Nobara, based on Fedora, which is all about that expert-tuned, out-of-the-box gaming experience. You've got Garuda, based on Arch, the total opposite, the bleeding-edge tinkerer's dream. And then there's something like PopOS, which is based on Ubuntu. That one's all about polished stability. It's a just works kind of deal, but the trade-off is you get those big updates a bit slower. So we've looked at all these different flavors of Linux gaming, and it all comes down to this one last question. It's not about finding the one best OS. That doesn't exist. It's about figuring out which trade-off you are willing to make. So let's break it down. If you want that unbreakable controller-first console-like appliance, then you're looking at Bazzite or ChimeraOS. And the trade is simple. You give up the freedom of a traditional PC. What if you want a full-blown desktop PC, but one that's been tuned up for gaming by an absolute expert? Well, then you choose Nobara. The trade? You're hitching your wagon to one person's vision and hoping they stick around. And what if you want it all? Ultimate customization, the very latest software, total control. Then you go with Garuda. The trade is that you have to accept the responsibility that comes with that power. You are now the system administrator, and maintenance is part of the deal. You know, I really can't say it any better than this. Every choice is a trade-off. At least now you know what you're trading. There's no single best answer for everyone. The whole point of this was never to crown a winner. It was to lay out the options so you know exactly what you're signing up for and what you're leaving on the table. So I'll just leave you with this. Think about your setup. Think about what you actually do with your gaming machine day to day. And ask yourself that one big question: appliance or PC? What's your trade?